So I've got 5 properties and a block of 6 apartments just on this one street. I had no idea what was in behind these doors before the auction. I got one hell of a surprise. But property has completely changed my life. Can you smell the profit? These type of properties are the bread and butter for a property investor. That is the fundamental of how you build your long-term wealth. Hi, my name's Kevin McDonnell. I've been in property for over 17 years now. I've built up a multi-million pound property business and I'm now known as the UK's leading expert at creative, no money down property investment strategies. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I have built my property empire. Over the last few years, I've built up a multi-million pound property business, buying property for myself and for joint venture partners. Right now, we're in Nottinghamshire in my letting agency. This is the base of my business. From this office, I manage over 250 tenants for myself and my JV partners. That's my personal portfolio, but we also manage tenants for other landlords. Before we get on with this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video. Why have I had a text message to Nicoletta? Newbie. Matt, say hi, Matt.
Hello.
Matt is my apprentice. Last time I checked, my name was Kevin. And Nicoletta, who should have got the text, didn't get the text. Let's do a vote. Should we keep him or sack him? Let's keep him. So this is where the main property business gets run from. This is front of office where the staff work, dealing with all of the customers that come in looking for rooms, maybe moving rooms, leaving, whatever it may be, the maintenance checks, etc. on the properties. I don't work here. I work remotely from home. I want to work on the business, not in the business. You need to too. So, should we go look at some houses? When I started in my property business, I was buying property back in 2003, 4, 5 in Eastern Europe. The reason I went to Eastern Europe was I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to buy property that I thought was cheap and would go up in value massively. I've only learned since becoming a professional property investor that you make your money through cash flow. So I bought in Estonia, I bought in Bulgaria, I bought in Turkey. Just going to see those properties took hours. I'm very much learned from that experience that a gold mine area needs to be where you buy all of your properties in one location that are close together. This used to be a bowling club, so I'll take you inside and we can see the bowling green is still there. What we've done is we've bought part of the bowling club and we've converted it into a 12-bed, all-ensuite HMO. This was purchased using a joint venture partners funds. My job in the purchase was to negotiate the deal, negotiate the transaction and how we would structure the deal. Somebody else put the funding in, somebody else did the development, and we split this as a joint venture partnership together. I now manage the building through our letting agency, so we get a management fee plus a percentage of the income because I'm a shareholder of the company. So this was 2 separate buildings, a 2-story cottage on this side and a 3-story building on that side. Now we could have done 2 separate HMOs, but that would have meant 2 communal areas, it would have meant 2 kitchen areas. So what we've done is we've just broke it into one full property, meaning we could get 12 bedrooms instead of 10 bedrooms because we need 1 communal space, 1 kitchen. Now the communal space, because it's 12 bedrooms, we've got all doubles, so you could have 24 people living here. So we've got lots of additional kitchen space. We've also got some kitchen space in their bedrooms, so like kitchenettes in bedrooms to create enough space around the property. I'll show you the next property. So in your property at home, you probably have something like this. That is not what you have to use if you've got a 12-bed all-ensuite HMO where you could have up to 24 people living. You got to use something like that. It's full of grass. So we've just looked around a 12-bed all-ensuite HMO. Now you may be looking at this thinking that's a little bit overwhelming for me. I'm at the start of my journey. I'm looking to maybe get my first couple of property deals done. And a 12-bed all-ensuite HMO, that's a little bit out of my league right now. So what I thought I'd do next is show you some of what I would call my mini-mos, my mini HMOs. That will give you a really good understanding of where you can start your property journey to start to build your initial cash flow up. So I've got 5 properties and a block of 6 apartments just on this one street. This is the type of area you should be looking to invest in. This is what I would call a gold mine street. Why would I buy a lot of property on one street? Well, if one house works on one street, then other houses will work on that street. Easy to manage, and you already know your numbers. Just repeat the process on the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. These type of properties are the bread and butter for a property investor. These are what I call my little money boxes. These are the things that bring in guaranteed cash flow every single month. So how do you find the deal? Because right now, nothing is screaming out at you, I'm a deal. You do direct to vendor marketing. You should have a leafleting campaign, a letter campaign. You could even go knock on the doors. We drop leaflets every single month consistently and on a patch of properties. You are only looking for one deal. So this property here is a property I bought with a joint venture partner. So why did I buy this property? Well, it was on the market for £79,950, so £79,950. We bought it for £74,000, not 25% below the asking price. And quite often I see people looking at a property on the market when they're new to property investing and they're trying to buy that property 25% below the asking price. It's not about 25% below the asking, it's about 25% below the value. So why did we offer 74 for this? The house directly next door, number 13, was on the market at the very same time, and that sold for 95,000, 21 grand more than ours, directly next door. The other half of two properties. Why? The house next door was in better condition. This property was 21 grand cheaper because it was an elderly lady who was moving into a care home and her family wanted to sell the property quickly. So we purchased this property two and a half years ago. I've had it in my portfolio, rented out every single month since. No problems with the property, same tenants right from the start. This is a single let property. I love single lets because you put a tenant in and it is literally let and forget. They can stay there for years, paying you a monthly income from that property. So we've recently just secured the purchase of this property. Now this property was on the market for 85 grand. The dog doesn't come with it. So this property was on the market 85 grand. We paid 85 grand. Asking price. Why? It's about below potential future added value. So where's the added value? Well, look at the back. At the back, you've got a really long garden. We have got what's called prior precedence. You can build a property in the back garden of this house, so we have purchased a free building plot. So this is actually the next property. You don't have to go far. That is not a single let. That is a house of multiple occupation. We've turned the sitting room into a fourth bedroom and renting each room out individually by the room, massively increasing the cash flow from that property. This property will rent out for about $550 a month. The benefit is you've got a long-term tenant that will probably stay there for the next 10-15 years. It's a home for life. A HMO, like this one just across the street, that rents out for £1,450 a month. It's important to have a bit of everything to reduce your risk, to spread your risk, to diversify. This is a typical terraced house. That's bedroom one. 3 bedrooms upstairs, and then you've got a sitting room, kitchen, bathroom. We've got to be quick, we've got some tenants. So you've got sitting room, kitchen, and a bathroom at the back. This just looks like a normal house on the inside. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what a HMO could be for you in your street. You're missing out on them. When you walk into a property, if it's got a corridor on the ground floor and it's got a separate sitting room, then that could be the perfect 3-bed house to convert to a 4-bed HMO. The next properties is actually a set of 3 together. So numbers 44, 46 and 48, all next to each other, all part of my portfolio. What's the benefit of buying 3 properties together? Well, it's huge land space all in one place. Because if you can buy the property for less than it costs to build it, you get the land for free. Maybe in a couple of 100 years' time, my great-great-grandkids will build a skyscraper or something in that big section of land. Buying a bunch of property gives you massive additional value on the land beneath it. So here's a message to my great-great-great-grandkids when you're watching this. You're welcome. And I've got a block of flats just through here. But I've got something really interesting to show you within this building. Having bought it at auction for 135 grand, we came to have a look at the property. And when we walked around on day one, we got inside all 6 apartments and also these cupboards. I had no idea what was in behind these doors before the auction. When I opened the door, I got one hell of a surprise. There was a staircase to a whole hidden floor. There's an entire 3rd floor to the building that was never mentioned in the auction. It's got rooms on every side. You've got more windows that are bricked out on the side. Now this was critical because this is a conservation area. It's got bricked out windows, meaning that legally we can open those windows up. We applied for planning permission and we've got a planning permission approved for an additional 2 apartments right up here, adding massive value to the building. So you might be looking at this thinking, oh my God, wow, huge potential, but where the hell do I start? I look at a project not about, oh my God, how difficult will the refurb be? I look at it and go, how can I add value? Where are the places that I can force the value, force the appreciation? So when you're starting out, what I see a lot of people do is they take all of their money and they put it in one property and then they get stuck because they put it into a property that might be a new build. There's nowhere you can add any value. You need to be looking at the fundamentals of property. Whether you're doing lease options, whether you're purchasing, whatever strategy you're using to secure the deal, there has to be the potential to add value to that property. That is the fundamental of how you build your long-term wealth. So we've just walked from that corner past 5 houses to get to the next one. Can you guess which one it is? Of course, it's the Irish green one. What else would it be? However, this is a 5-bed HMO property. Now, if you spin the camera just down 3 houses to the number 66 with the black door, that is an exact mirror image of this property. But that is a single let property, not a 5-bed HMO. So I've used a joint venture partner's cash to buy that property and refurbish it. I own 50% of the house. I have done a separate YouTube video on this specific property showing you how we bought it, the condition it was in when we bought it, the entire refurbishment. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, like this video, and you will see that coming soon. This is the communal space. We turned the sitting room into an additional bedroom. So we got 1 bedroom on the ground floor, 3 on the middle floor, and 1 on the top floor. Now the top floor bedroom is 2 floors away from the kitchen. So that has got its own ensuite and it's got a little kitchenette. In here, you can see that we've actually not really changed the layout of the property. It already had a corridor when you come in. We've just turned that room into an additional bedroom. And we have our sitting room, our kitchen, our bathroom. We've not changed it at all. We just made it compliant to HMO regulations. So this property here is a semi-detached house converted into a 6-bed HMO. So it was a 3-bed property converted to a 6-bed. Now, the history of this was I actually viewed it about a year before we ever purchased it. And I viewed it direct to vendor from my direct to vendor marketing. Now, sometimes when you view a property direct to vendor, you won't be able to secure a deal with them, or the deal that you can secure won't work for you. So in this scenario, they were happy to do a lease option deal with me, where I would take on their debt and buy the property off them at the future. The problem was their debt was too big. The property valued at about 125 grand, that would be the street value. They were in debt of over 140 grand. Now I could have took that debt on for £1, but it has got to be a business decision. Can I make money on that property to pay that debt back, that negative equity back within the first few months? And with over 20 grand of negative equity, I'm making about 800 a month cash flow on this as a HMO, the answer would be it would take over a year, so not worthwhile. What I said to them was, this deal would not work for me, and I walked away. But I knew that they had a major problem, and that this property had only one outcome, a repossession. Within a year, we picked it up as a corporate sale following a repossession. But what I had done in the meantime was I visited the estate agents in town. There's 2 agents that deal with all repossessions. You can tell them in your area, because there'll be 2 for sale boards outside. They'll typically tell you they're likely to be the repossession dealing agent. I visited them and I said, number 107 is going to be on your books in the coming months as a repossession. Can I get in first when it does? I got into the property first. I placed my offer, 85 grand. Remember, they were in over 140 of debt, so 60 grand less we secured the deal for within a year later. So the next property is right here. Now this is a 3-bedroom detached property. We've converted it into a 5-bed HMO. But the additional added value lies right here. So we currently run this property as a 5-bed HMO. That's bringing in around £800 a month positive cash flow. But the built-in future legacy income is the building plot next door. There is massive space there for another house. Looks like it's just a simple single let house, but this has been converted into another 5-bed HMO. 1 bedroom on the top floor, 1 bedroom on the ground floor, and then 3 bedrooms in the middle floor with a shared bathroom and a couple of en-suites. I actually collected all the keys from the agency earlier to walk around the properties and totally forgot that we had this house. Thanks, Anna. Now remember the fundamentals of adding value, buying the worst house on a good street. This is what I call one of the worst houses. Can you smell the profit? So it didn't actually look like this when we bought it. We've just ripped everything out. So we've took out the kitchens, we've cleared all the walls, getting it ready for the plumbers, the plasterers to come in and start the refurbishment work. They're currently working on a different project at the moment. As soon as they finish up, then they'll be jumping straight on this. In here is a piece of engineering excellence. Vote in the comments box, right? Should we keep it or should we get rid of it? A Pringles lampshade. The first of its kind in the UK. The only one I've ever seen. It is a Pringles lampshade. Are you the person who put it there? Let me know. I want to know who put that Pringles lampshade in this room. Or what flavour of Pringles would you have used if it was your lampshade? Let me know in the comments. Thank God they didn't choose smoky barbecue, or we might not have a house right now. So this property needs a complete refurbishment. But what is really big win for us is that the boiler is actually really good condition. A good boiler in good condition, no need to change that. However, we will move it from the bedroom down into the kitchen area, so it's no longer in a bedroom. Just look at the size of this property and the scale of it. So you got a huge room here to the front, and big area, additional bedroom again on the top floor. Massive bedroom again on the top floor. Now this is number 12. The property we were just in is number 18. So it's only a few doors down. That again is a 5-bed HMO. What is this going to be? You guessed it, not a 5-bed HMO. Why? Because I've already got over 200 rooms. This is going to be another single let. So I've bought properties on this street from 80 grand right up to over 190 grand. This property, today's market, was the cheapest one. It was 52.5 grand and a 6 grand auction fee. Bought at auction, total cost 58.5 grand. 52.5 plus the 6 grand auction fee. 58.5 grand, what a bargain. This side of the street, we've just seen number 18 and number 12. There's one more and I've kept the best to last. It's this one here. This is a double-sized 6-bedroom HMO property, but with added potential future value again. So the house itself is currently let to a company, so this brings in a guaranteed cash flow, £2,100 a month for the property, every single month, without fail, to a company. But here's the future added value. It's got side access. Now we are on a street of tourist houses, and remember earlier I spoke about buying more than one together? It's a big area of ground in town centre again. But for anyone else on a property in this area, there's no parking. We can access the back of all of these houses via this driveway. And additionally, in the backyard you can see a double-storey garage with windows. But this will give you permitted development to convert that into another property at some point in the future. So I have banked future money from that additional development that is basically free with the property. So we're back in my office. I could have shown you way more properties, but that was just a small proportion of the portfolio I've got. That was just 3 streets. So how do you get your first deal? I've got loads of deals. How have I built up such a massive portfolio of property in such a short amount of time? Only 6 years ago, I was in over 100 grand of debt, struggling to survive in my job, never mind financially. But property has completely changed my life. And you know what the secret weapon is? Joint ventures. I started in property in 2003. By 2014, I had built a debt. It was only since 2014 when I started to use joint ventures, I started to be more creative around how I built my business and not focused on the money in my pocket, but more the money in property, the money in the world, that I started to attract money and investment towards me so I could build my empire. I have met most of my joint venture partners at property events. Now, I met them at property events when I was still a student. I met them years ago. I have not took on any new joint ventures in 3 years now. Why? I don't need to, because I'm recycling the cash that I joint ventured with when I was a student. One of the things I didn't realize when I went and learned how to become a property investor was that other people go to learn how to be property investors not to actually find the deals, but to learn how to use their money wisely and safely. Your joint venture partner could be in a networking room. They could be at an event. You are the sum of the people you spend the most time with. You should write down right now at home the 5 people you are spending the most time with. If they are not currently millionaires, you gotta change the people you're spending time with. Hang around rooms with wealthy people and you will start to attract some of that money towards you. When I started out, I thought joint ventures was raising millions and millions of pounds from these really rich people, but they're not. Joint venture partners could be a family member, it could be a work colleague, it could be somebody that you meet on the street, somebody you meet on holiday, somebody you meet on an airplane, somebody you meet in Costa Coffee. Wealthy people are not who you necessarily need as joint venture partners. I mean super wealthy people. They could just be people with some money that they're looking to invest in a better way than leave in the bank. You don't need tens of millions of pounds to build a £10,000,000 portfolio because you are recycling the cash. You are reusing the same money over and over and over again. What you're looking for is one person with a decent amount of money where they are looking to invest that money in somebody that they know can look after that money for them. Invest it for them in a safe asset. And there's nothing more safe than property. So I've shown you inside my business. I've shown you what I do day to day, how I find the deals, how we fund the deals, how we refurbish the deals, how we manage the deals. Don't just sit there and watch it. Get out there and find your own deals. At Progressive, we're all active property investors. We're all living and breathing property day in, day out. Whoever you choose to be trained with, if you're looking to be educated, make sure that the person training you is actively doing property. There should be no reason why they can't show you, just like I've shown you today. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about property investing professionally, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. I've been Kevin McDonnell. You guys are awesome. See you on the next video.